Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and we're live for another Manchester United watch along where we desperately do need 3 points, don't we? I'm confident that we will get them. I'm pretty happy with that team next to me, if I'm being completely honest. What are your thoughts? As I just tweeted there, I do think that there is a little bit of an issue in relation to the bench and players that are still here, but that's no surprise. We knew that would be the case anyway. So look, I'm optimistic about a Manchester United win because ultimately it's Manchester United at home to Nottingham Forest, and therefore we should be looking to win games like this. Sancho should have started, says Ben. No, I'm happy with that team. I am happy with that team. Obviously, we've got no Luke Shaw, so Dalot playing at left back makes sense. Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez and Onana. Casemiro, Eriksen and Bruno. Probably would have done that whether Mason Mount had been injured anyway. Probably would have done. Martial at number 9 is absolutely essential. Bit of disappointment that obviously Rasmus is not involved today, but at least we've got Marcus Rashford back on the left-hand side. And you know what? I look at that team and I think, well, it's basically last season. It's basically last season's team, isn't it? Without Luke Shaw and Onana replacing De Gea, that's the team that sort of got us to where we were last year. So, and I know Martial missed a lot of it, but it should be back to your roots today, and it should be a formality win at home. Having had a kick up the arse this week, there'll be a lot of familiarity in that team. Love the build-up show. Good idea for the new season, says Lewis. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. We're really enjoying it as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I mean, a few people saying Sancho should have started. I actually think people might be living off the Sancho performance when he came on against Wolves. I actually don't think he was that good against Spurs away, and he wasn't the only one. But I don't think that his performance was that good. And ultimately, if you're going to play Sancho, you're going to drop Anthony. And where you're going to, Sancho hasn't played off the right for a long time. So Rashford's got to go to the left. Martial's got to play up front. Eriksen's got to come in next to Casemiro. I suppose the interesting thing is the bench. I did say last night, I was a little bit drunk, but I did say last night that there's obviously... the bench was going to be quite interesting in relation to sales. I don't think we've learned anything, to be honest with you, because Scott McTominay's on the bench, Harry Maguire's on the bench, Dean Henderson's on the bench. In fact, the bench is pretty disappointing, really, when you look at it. You've got Dean Henderson, Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, Scott McTominay, Alvaro Fernandez, Gore, Sancho, Garnacho. There's just not, and Pellistri. It's not a very strong bench. And as Pete says, it's a bit of a deadwood bench. And you're right, it is. It's weak. Obviously, we're missing Højlund, Mount, Mainu, Shaw and Malacia. But that squad's just not there, is it? So, Henderson has been given permission to speak to Palace after the game, says Akin. I think that's a good thing. We know that he's gonna go. But look, I personally would have liked to seen Harry Maguire left out. I saw Faz put a clip out of Harry Maguire turning up and signing autographs, and I said, the poor kids that are getting their shirts signed by Harry Maguire. Then, as soon as pen or ink hits fabric, that shirt's just lost 90% of its value. And they were just smiling there, sort of like going, I can't really pull it away now. And he's just wandering up like, everything's normal. So he needs to go. McTominay needs to go. There are viable replacements there. But that's for another day. We're here today. Spurs have gone and beaten Tottenham. Spurs have beaten Tottenham. It was a one-sided affair. Spurs have beaten Bournemouth 2-0. Very impressive again. That puts them up to 7 points. So I think Chelsea won last night as well. I was saying on Twitter earlier that Chelsea and Tottenham are going to really liven up the top 8 race because they're not in Europe. They've both got new managers. They can focus on the league. You've then got the normal contenders of Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton, Aston Villa, plus us. There's 9 clubs going for the, top sort of 5 positions, really, if top 5 is going to give us the, Champions League spots. So look, of course, it's interesting. United have got to win today. That's without, I don't think anyone's going to say anything contrary to that. I expect us to win today. Performance, I'm going to go with a 3-0. I think performance would be nice to see. But as I mentioned in the preview, what I'm actually expecting to see from Manchester United today is a win. And probably some familiarity as well, considering Eriksen, Casemiro and Bruno have played together a lot. So I would expect to see that a lot as well. I expect that to work. Also, Marcus Rashford back on the left-hand side. You would expect that to work. So, look, a lot of people took Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford out of their fantasy Premier League team. I didn't, on the assumption that Bruno, but also I just think Rashford back on the left-hand side, I expect him to score. Let's just have a quick look at the Nottingham Forest side for you there on the screen. And go through it. Obviously, there'll be some familiar faces. Turner could have been Henderson, actually. Bowley, Worrell, McKenna, Aurier, Danilo, Yates, Aina, Johnson, Gibbs-White, and Awoniyi. Alanga doesn't start, and he didn't start at the Emirates, and he came on and played very, very well. So Gibbs-White and Johnson are the players to keep an eye on for them. They've sort of packed the midfield, really, with Danilo and Yates in there and Johnson and Gibbs-White dropping back. We know our midfield. It's interesting, isn't it? Ten Hag said yesterday that the midfield isn't the issue at Manchester United, and yet I think every opposition manager is going to look at the midfield and go, that's where we're going to target them. Only Onana on the field from new players is scary, says Zix. Well, look, you genuinely can look at United, and I hold my hand up and say, yes, it's because of injury. But you look at that United team at the moment, and you consider the bench as well. You look at that United side at the moment, and you go, well, hold on a minute. Is it any better than the team last year? Well, no. Last season's team was better, because the only difference is Onana for De Gea, which, obviously Onana can play out from the back, but Deleu's not as good as Shaw, so we're already in a position, the third game in the season, where we're putting out a team that's weaker than what we had last year as a best 11. And the bench doesn't really offer anything. Sancho is inconsistent. Garnacho is a young player, as is Pellistri. McTominay is McTominay. And Maguire and Lindelof. Well, I like Lindelof, but Maguire, there's not a lot on that bench that makes you think that if things. I mean, I think the big issue with me is that if Martial gets injured, we have got, we are still a football club that's got no striker. And people will say, well, Højlund, and I'm fully aware of Højlund, but he's missed the first 3 games of the season. We don't know anything about him yet. So there's a lot to concern. Look, I would say this. When I look at United today, we're not going to learn anything unless we lose. And what I mean by that is, if we win, the season's not back up and running. We're at the Emirates a week tomorrow. If we win 10-0 today with vintage, old-style Man United fast-flowing football, we still learn nothing. We only learn something today negatively if we lose or draw. If we win today, it's what we have to do. We know what's coming next week. I mean, that's one of the hardest games of the season, the Emirates next week. It is. So we've also got the transfer window closing on the Friday before it. So I think today, really, we've got to get behind the manager. We've got to get behind the players. And we've just got to go at Saturday night tonight, whether you're listening to my show on TalkSport, calling in, whether you're out for a takeaway or dancing or you're watching a film. We all want to be sat there tonight going, we did what we needed to do. We won the game, and we look to next week and go, what's next week going to bring? Because really, the transfer deadline day on Friday and the game against Arsenal next Sunday into an international break, it's a huge week for Man United. So we can't solve our problems today. We can only add to our problems. But what we must do is not add to those problems and win. Alex says, any news on Amrabat? Thank you very much for your super chat, Alex. Really appreciate that. The only thing I've heard about Amrabat was what Dimarzio said, which I take as an encouragement. So Dimarzio was basically saying last night that United and Fiorentina are in talks for Amrabat, but nothing's been agreed yet. I mean, I suppose what you would say about that is that that's great. That is really great that we're in talks for Amrabat, but has that not been going on for the last 6 weeks? And have we not been told we've got to sell to buy? So I don't really think anything about Amrabat at the moment, but I guess we'll see. Rashford's just been called Rash Bonglahor by Tony. That's a real insult. There are a dozen passes to Garnacho out wide that he wasted. If Rashford gets those, we create more, and Casemiro and Bruno look class. Watch left wing today, says Jefferson. Look, I'm wearing my Bruno t-shirt. It's a blast from the past. I don't normally wear it as often as I used to on streams, but I feel that this is the guy today. I back him. He's my captain. Rashford as well, I think, off the left. I think Rashford and Bruno could sit a few people down today, and I'm here for it. Sean, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Games like these are always important to win, but when we play other top 6 teams, that's where we'll really see progression, says Lee. What's your score prediction, says Sean. Well, get your score predictions in. I wouldn't mind reading a few of those out. But it's 9 a.m. in Chicago, says Justin. We will be cheated for another penalty today, says Lars. Mate, if we are moaning about a penalty decision at home to Nottingham Forest, we've got a lot to worry about. You're right, Mark. This league is getting more and more competitive. We can't keep being run so poorly when other teams are rising up. Glazers out, says LJ. Look, we did really well last season to finish 3rd, didn't we? But if we're absolutely honest, Spurs were a mess. Chelsea were a mess. Liverpool were a mess. That's 3 clubs that were a complete and utter a mess. And I don't think it's going to go that way this year. So it's going to be very, very competitive. Still got Wan-Bissaka and Marcus Rashford in Fantasy Premier League. Please make me proud, says Rickard. Just on my Fantasy Premier League side, so I have Onana in goal, I have Bruno in the midfield, and I have Rashford in my attack as well. So yeah, that's how I've got mine. A lot of people are going with 4-1s. Thomas has gone 4-1 to Manchester United. Carping has gone 5-1 as well. And I hope the VAR and other officials will step it up today, says Schooler. Well, I was watching the Bournemouth Spurs game, and I think that Romero, for the 2nd week in a row, is a very lucky boy. I mean, that tackle he did on the edge of the box, I know he wins the ball, but it's the most dangerous scissor tackle I've seen this season. But yet again, the refereeing is bloody abysmal, and that's only the 2nd game of the weekend. So, yeah, I don't know whether anybody saw that. But look, we can't keep an eye on everybody else. We've got to go and win tonight, this afternoon, and we don't want to be reliant on, VAR. That's not what we want to be. Fabrizio says that Everton have agreed a deal. Nothing to do with Manchester. Oh, no. Crystal Palace are closing in on a Dean Henderson deal from Man United. Medical has been booked and agreements being finalised today. That's good news. Henderson off to Palace, get in. I'm happy with that. Don't want him at the club. I think he's let himself down. Yeah. Just a bit of humility from Dean Henderson, and he could have been a decent goalkeeper at United. But yeah, we don't want that sort of character around. He's ruined it with his arrogance, really. I hope you and your family are doing well. We spent 150 million, but it seems like nothing has changed, says Nabil. New game, take a shot every time the attack on the right-hand side breaks down because of Anthony. Time to give up on him, says Gooch. I disagree. Donny should be on the bench at the very least. We are too light in the midfield, says Chiri. Well, this is what I mean. McTominay's allowed to be on the bench, but Donny van der Beek's not allowed to be on the bench. So it's a very worrying situation, isn't it? That, Dean Henderson's effectively going to go to Palace, but he can be on the bench, but we won't put Donny on the bench. And I sort of agree with you. Surely we'd still sell Maguire. So why would you not put Donny on? It still baffles me that Man United did not go for James Maddison for 40 million, but yet spent 55 million on Mount, says Jack. I wondered how long that would be a thing. I mean, look, I'm happy to put it up as a poll. I'm not a massive fan of James Maddison. I never have been. I think he's a good player, but I think he's slightly overhyped. I don't think, for me, James Maddison belongs anywhere near the same sentence as an Odegaard or a Bruno or a Kevin De Bruyne. But does he belong in the same sentence as a Mason Mount? Well, a lot of people have said that from an England point of view, he does. So, the poll is yours. Have your say. Mason Mount still on Chelsea setting. I like that. That's a good one, Jason. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Don't forget that during the game, we will have the stats for you as well. How does that work? Well, I don't know whether I want to show the league table actually, but look, this is what our stats carousel will do as it goes round. You'll be able to see possession, shots, it updates by the second. You can get player stats through OneFootball as well. So OneFootball power our stats carousel. You can download it for free. Links in the description. Get all your latest breaking football news, transfer news, all the latest scores come in really quickly on the OneFootball app. So download it for free. Links in the video description. Available on Apple and Android. You can also scan the QR code in the top right hand corner with your camera phone and download it. But whilst we have the match stats in relation to the teams, you can dig into the player stats on the OneFootball app as well. So you can see how many misplaced passes. Oh, McTominay's not playing, is he? You know, you can see how many shots Anthony has. But look, that is a good point at the end of the day. That is a good point. That, and I don't want to show you this. I'm tempted to get rid of the showing the league table because until we've had 3 games, it's sort of irrelevant. But as you can see, we're currently down in 13th place at the moment. 1 win, 1 loss. Let's not complete the zeros and turn them into ones. We don't want a home draw to Forest. I think that would be terrible. Absolutely terrible. But that's how the league table looks. I don't really want to keep the league table. I mean, can we have a bit of a democracy in the chat? But I don't want to keep the league table because I think the league table looks very depressing at the moment. So I will be dictated to by you. But I don't really want to keep the league table on the stats carousel. Let's transfer it out. Scott McTominay needs to play now as he will miss second half of the season due to the filming of Scooby-Doo 2, says Tom. I predict a draw. Don't forget that about the high hopes we had against Wolves, says Jason. Hi Mark, can we also call TalkSport from India, says Karan? I presume you probably can. I am on TalkSport tonight actually, 7:30 till 9 o'clock. The Mark Goldbridge Show live on TalkSport, talking about all today's action. It will be live on YouTube as well. I hope we get a shock, but I can't see what we're going to get from the shocks today because Arsenal are at home to Fulham as well, so I think they're going to win. Thanks for being a positive influence on the football community. Been having a tough time and your humour has been keeping me smiling, says Owood. Look, the United Stand, I don't know whether people have realised this. We're not a fan channel. We're a fan entertainment channel. You know, we're here for... we're passionate about what we do, but it's entertainment at the end of the day. We're not trying to be anything other than that. So I'm glad that people enjoy it and see it for what it is. Hi, Mark. I'm watching the show from a poolside in Valencia and I predict 4-1. Clinton, I love that. I love this time of year when people are on holiday and you've got good internet so you can just be chilling out. So anybody who's in a bar or on the beach or, somewhere nice, I hope you're enjoying yourself. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's all well and good when we score first, but when we don't, it's game over, says Chris Cooper. And Maddison better than Mount, not even close. Mount couldn't even get in a bad Chelsea team. Anthony's been poor. Trust in Eric and hope he's right, says Nasha. 2 things I just wanted to say. 25,000 of you watching. Please smash a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. You're very welcome on the United Stand. We're live every morning at 10 o'clock, every night at 8 o'clock. We normally have a 2 o'clock show. Loving the countdown to kickoff show. We normally are live about an hour and a half before the game now in the studio. Obviously, we've got the fan forum tonight, so we'll finish the match, God knows when, with the added time. I'll do the match reaction where we have the player ratings you can vote for, and then when that's over, we're straight into the studio, fan forum. Kev's back from holiday, Ricky's on. It's going to be a cracking show. Really looking forward to it. The match day scenario on the United Stand is elite, and we're loving it. Did you send Rasmus some Hotter Than the Sun merch, says Ray? Oh, I mean, he's more than welcome to have it. I must message him and see if he wants some, but... it might be a bit arrogant walking around with Hotter Than Sun t-shirts. Hi, Mark. Looking forward to this one. What's your score prediction, mate? Says NJ. I'm going to go 3-0. And listening to you all the way from Akron, Ohio. Glory, glory, says Quentin. Look, we're a worldwide fan base. Just on that, 2 things. I want to talk about Anthony for a moment. I'm going to get the stats carousel going round. A lot of people have said get rid of the league table. I'll tell you what, we'll meet you halfway. We'll keep the league table going round till the match starts. Since you're an entertainment channel, have considered exotic dancing, says Nabil. United are going to win 4-0. I want to talk about Anthony in a minute, but obviously it would be remiss of me not to talk about this. I wanted to wait until we were in a few minutes into the show so we could, peak viewers can listen to this. Of course, today there is a very interesting and noble thing going on at Old Trafford. It's exclusive for match-going fans, and you'll know why. There is the opportunity to sit in for 60 minutes after the game today This has happened at clubs before, especially across Europe, but I don't remember this happening at United. I'm sure it probably has, but I don't remember it happening before. A 60-minute sit-in, 75,000 fans there. Let's say 70 if you take away fans and, you know, the sandwich brigade and all that lot. So 70,000 fans there. How many of them will sit in for an hour? Look, I don't know. You know, I've heard a few things about this. Why is Hoyland not in the squad, says Newkirk? Because Ten Hag didn't feel he was ready. I've heard a few things about this. The negative side is that nobody's going to sit in for an hour after a game of football when they've been sat watching a game for an hour. The other side of it is it's a Saturday evening. A lot of people travel to Old Trafford from London, you know, abroad. They've got flights to catch, Ireland, etc. So they won't be able to do it. I would just say I think there will be a fair amount of people who do it. And even if it's 100 people, it will still make a difference. So I'm not going to judge it. I'm not at the game to do it. So this is a match-going protest. I respect it. I think everybody respects it. And if 1,000 people do it, fantastic. If 30,000 do it, even better. But I don't think we really should be judging it on how many people do it. Because we're definitely not going to get everybody doing it. It's just not going to happen. There will be numerous people who... You imagine Dave, who's gone down there with his mates. He's met up at the pub at 12. He's gone to the match, and Dave's wife has said, "We're out tonight. You know, you've been out at football all day. We're going out tonight. I need you home by 7." Ain't going to turn up, is he, an hour late saying, "I sat in afterwards." Yeah. So people will have things to do, but let's not forget there is a sit-in after the game. And what I want to see is that when I'm watching the R5 kickoff, I want to see it being referenced on the news and stuff. And if that happens, then it's a winner, isn't it? No matter how I try to be optimistic, I can't. There is no style of player. The Glazers might not sell, and that's not even the worst that could happen. Maguire could be captain again. Says, damn it. I'd love to... Well, Maguire will never be captain of Man United again. He's not even in the leadership team anymore. Like, there's a leadership team in the dressing room that used to be De Gea, Bruno, Maguire, Casemiro, Varane, Luke Shaw, Tom Heaton, Marcus Rashford, I think, is in it. Maguire's not even in that anymore, so he won't be captain anymore. I'd love to see Rasmus score and he lift his shirt to reveal a hotter than the sun shirt underneath it, says Sean. Rasmus won't be watching because he's probably at the game, but that would be a great idea. Hi Mark, hope this will be a good day. Love from Zimbabwe, says Panache. And my mate's at the game and Harry Maguire refused to sign his gold and green scarf, told him he can't sign it. Delo happily signed it though, says Luke. Well, you know, that's Harry for you, isn't it? You know, couldn't lead a pack of ants to a picnic. Match reaction after 60 minutes in solidarity, says Ocon. Mate, no, we're doing the match reaction straight after the game because I'm not at the game anyway. So, no, we'll carry on doing the match reaction straight after the game. I know you're trying to be a little bit of a divisive, toxic element in the chat, but what purpose would that serve to not do the match reaction for an hour afterwards? Almost midnight here in Australia, Mark. It's been a whole day building up to this game. We Australian fans deserve a good result, says Stavros. Well, let us know. Let us know in the chat where you're watching from, of course. Very, very welcome, as per usual. I'm sure a lot of you will be watching from all around the world. So let us know what time it is there and how you're getting on. Looking forward to it, of course. Old Trafford awaits. Team news going round on the screen as well, of course. Let me just have a look here at, just trying to make sure that I want to try and get the I want to get the league table off. Get out. Get out. There we go. Andrew G, are you ready for some football? We've got people watching from Seattle, California, Nepal, Thailand, Canada, Singapore, it's 9:55. Kenya, it's 4:54. Malaysia, Keep the league table, says Pap. Do you want me to put the league table back? I can put it back. Not being divisive, match-going fans always having a pop at we online fans. It's nice to know we're all together no matter what, says Ocon. Well, thank you very much then, as long as you weren't being toxic. It's 3 o'clock in Plymouth, Mark, says My Pink. Yeah, I'm not reading the rest of what you've said. But about 5 minutes to go. Let us know what your opinions are. Harry Maguire stood at the back of the tunnel there. Keep him back. Keep him back there. 2 a.m. in New Zealand. What's the scar on your arm? Well, you're very, very deceptive. I do have a scar on my arm, and I've banged it as well. Banged it, so it's bleeding at the moment. I had a mole removed when I was about 25, which was cancerous, which I've told people before. So when they took it out, it opened up when I was working in the police because I got into a bit of a scuffle, and I didn't go to the hospital to get it checked out. So the scar completely opened up. So it's quite a nasty looking scar, but it's my own fault, really. Hi from the Philippines, says Tom. Hi, Tom. Hope you're doing very well. I wanted to talk about Anthony. Yeah, 66% of you think that Maddison's better than Mount, by the way. Is that a lot to do with negativity around Mount at the moment? Is that fair? Let's go United. Big love from Brisbane, says James. Thank you very much, James. Legend, of course. I'm just trying to think here. That's fine. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing here? I don't know. Oh, I'm trying to set this up and it's going all over the place here. I can't speak. 9 a.m. kickoff here in Edinburgh, Texas. Thank you very much, Emiliano. Watching from a festival, Mark, between McFly and Kate Nash. Get away from that festival. It sounds shite. Right. So I did want to talk to you about Anthony. I'm very happy to see Christian Eriksen back in the team, I've got to say. Never in a million years would I have gone with McTominay at home. We're at home. We're against Nottingham Forest. And... you know, we've got to go on the front foot and try and get on the front foot. We've got to be very careful, though. I must admit, I've read a lot of you saying it, and I completely agree. We could still get overrun in the midfield. Wouldn't normally happen at Old Trafford, but teams might have seen what happened with Wolves and say to themselves, we fancy it. So they may well fancy it, if I'm being honest. So let's wait and see how that sort of pans out. Let me just get this up and running. But I wanted to talk to you about Anthony because... my feelings about Anthony are that I'm a big fan of Anthony. And I know he's a bit of a divisive character, but I am a big fan of Anthony. However, there is also the scenario that the first 2 games of the season, like many other people, hasn't been good enough. This is a very important season for him. And I somewhat get defensive of Anthony because I almost feel like going, Jadon Sancho, Jadon Sancho. It's year 3 for Jadon Sancho, and he cost around the same amount of money. So Marcel says Sancho should start and Anthony's benched. I think the criticism that Anthony gets is massively unfair. I also think there's something worth saying in relation to Anthony is that when you think about what's happened with Mason Greenwood, and you hear some of the rumours around accusations against Anthony, he could well be another player that's got stuff going off the pitch. And remember, Jadon Sancho missed three months of the season last year. So who knows what's going on with Anthony? I acknowledge it's a massively, massively important season for him. Of course it is. But I do also feel that sometimes he is treated rather differently because of his nationality. And there's far, far less patience with him than there would be with you know, a British player. So I'd love him to light it up. He's one of those players that doesn't seem to get acknowledged when, you know, he lights it up. And I think that's a bit of a shame. But look, I want this whole team to deliver. And we can all pontificate about Anthony or Mason Mount, etc. But the cold, harsh fact is that it's not just Anthony and Mount that are not performing at the moment. There's a lot of players not performing at the moment. Certainly last week. So, you know, let's try and be even-handed around that. I know what I was trying to do. Shit. Timer. I'm not in the swing of this. I'm not in the swing of this. There we go. Hope you're doing well. What are your thoughts on Rashford constantly getting starts? I like him, but he gets so much player power. It's annoying. You genuinely think we should be getting rid of Marcus Rashford? That's incredible. He is one of the stars of this team who is fit, and people might disagree with me on this one, but he should be playing 100%. 100% he should be playing. I wouldn't have it any other way. Timer's up on the screen for you. United against Nottingham Forest. Let's see if we can get a United performance that's up there today. 1 minute. Hopefully they won't score in the first minute. I will have to keep getting up and down a lot today. I'm just going to explain it to you. I was doing a bit of a football video on... Oh, Anthony's just had an early shot there. Good save. But score for the clip, says James. Anthony with an early shot for Manchester United, and that'll get him feeling good. I mean, it's not a very good shot. It's on target. It's got a bit of power on it. Keeper's... To be honest, I think the keeper's made a bit of a meal of it. If I'm being honest, I'm hearing. I'm getting the word. Arsenal have conceded. I will confirm that for you, but I'm getting the word that Arsenal have actually conceded in the first minute. Man United have just put the corner in. It's been conceded. Yeah, Fulham are 1-0 up already. But Manchester United could be 1-0 down. They are 1-0 down. What the hell is going on here? We're laughing at Arsenal and we need to laugh at ourselves. What the hell are we doing? Caught on the break by the corner. Robin Hood FC. Bloody hell. What's going on here? I should have stayed out of the room. I can't believe it. Well, in the space of a few seconds, my fancy Premier League team has gone down the shitter. Saliba for Arsenal and now Onana for Manchester United. But they're 1-0 down in the first 2 minutes. We're not even joking here. It's from a United corner. Wan-Bissaka loses a 50-50. And Rashford loses. Oh my God. Rashford's going to get absolute pelters here. Rashford's fault that. That's all on Rashford. Rashford better go and score some goals now. That's absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Why is he the last man? I mean, that is like putting a snowman in front of a bloody blowtorch. Why is he the last man? So, Man United have got a corner. Forest clear it. Wan-Bissaka misses ahead at 50-50. That can happen. But Marcus Rashford's our last man. Last man, Marcus Rashford. And he just knocks it past him. And Rashford's quick as well. I can't believe that striker has gone and done Rashford for pace. But you've got to look at that. You've got to look at that. This is going to be a long injury-filled season, says Joel. You've got to look at that. You've got to look at that and go, right, I understand why Varane's gone up for the corner because he's big. But why is Marcus Rashford the last guy on a corner? What is he doing as the last man? There's no point in him being there, is what I'm trying to say, because in that scenario, that will happen quite a lot. And if he's not going to contest for the ball, he's a waste of time there. Like an absolute waste of time. It's 2-0 for fuck's sake! God, no, bloody hell! What's going on? It's 2-0! You can't write it! You can't bloody write it! We're 2-0 down in 3 minutes! Oh my God, switch off and take the dog a walk. Get down the pub and have some family time. Go and touch grass. This is a bloody disgrace. What are they doing here? 2-0 down to Nottingham Forest. It's absolutely incredible. It's a cross into the box that Delo has conceded. What are they doing in the box here? Casemiro, Wan-Bissaka again. Fucking... Oh my God. It goes over the head of Rashford again. Wan-Bissaka again. Martinez. Oh, for fuck's sake. I don't believe it. I can't speak. 2-0 down to Nottingham Forest. Deservedly so. Absolute bottle jobs. A 2-0. Oh my God. I said 3-0 to Manchester United. I'm disgusted. Absolutely disgusted by this start. Unbelievable. 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 Statue defending. Oh. Well, they might have a problem having a sit-in, because at this rate, people will be walking out early. They'll be an hour. They'll be walking away an hour early. Absolutely incredible. Look, it could be a great game. Man United are going to have to come back here, but Forest are just set up perfect now to hit us on the break, and they are hitting us on the break again. But oh fucking God! So glad I didn't go today. Went to Wolves game, says Benji. I mean, look, you've got to try and sort of dissect it there. Man United having all the possession, but it's simple. We can't trust these players. How long have we said this for now, says Luke. And this is what happens under these owners, I'm afraid, says Stuart. We are not together as a group. Major discord, says Enjoy Writing. I just wonder what's going on in the dressing room. I really do. I really do wonder what's going on in the dressing room. You wonder, like, you know, were they happy about lack of signings? You know, are they happy about the lack of the sale? Are they happy about people who've stayed? Worst birthday Harvey's ever had. Bring Maguire back in. I guess he really is our best defender. Christopher, can we just block Christopher for that shit? I mean, mate, neither goal is really on the centre-backs. That's just idiotic analysis. Like, if you think Maguire's going to... We'd be 4-0 down with Maguire. The goals we've conceded are ridiculous. Like, the first one's on Rashford. Why is Rashford the last man on the corner? I still haven't finished about that. We've got a corner, and Rashford's the last man for the break. And he gets beaten for pace and gets beaten in a 50-50. I mean, it's bumping your gums, that is, isn't it? It's bad attitude defending. I don't want to be the last man on a corner. Just, you know... Wayne Rooney must look at it and go, I can't believe the lack of effort some of these spoilt brat players have. I mean, why is Rashford the last man on a corner, and then why is he losing a foot race when he's one of the quickest players in the game? Unbelievable. The second goal comes from a foul by Delo, which is a foul. The cross misses the head of Martinez and Wan-Bissaka, and the Forest defender's just there going, thank you very much, heads it in. Alejandro says, how many more modern goalkeepers do we need? I'm not sure the goalkeeper can really do a hell of a lot in that scenario. But this is incredible stuff. There has been a Man United player who has scored, but it's a former Man United player, and it's Andreas Pereira who's scored at the Emirates. They're winning 1-0 there, but forget all that, people. This is an absolute disgrace for Manchester United. Nasha says, embarrassing, we haven't woken up. Defence is a joke. No cover from a corner. What kind of tactics are these? No marking at a free kick. How bad are we? Says, it's indiscipline, mate. It's the lack of sharpness. They just don't look. I expect nothing and I'm still disappointed, says AM. For Ten Hag's own reputation, he needs to leave, says Adam. Well, look, there's plenty of time. We're doing that rare thing at Old Trafford where we attack the Stretford end first half. We normally attack it second half. But could the players be rattled by how old the goalkeeper was? Treat new goalkeeper looks bad so far. David was the glue, says Brian. The worst thing is the pundits will point to Potter's start and say we should have gone with him all along, says Wuzzy. My friend is there and met the players earlier and said they were kind and relaxed. It's a crazy game and a crazy day, says Louis. Panic transfer spending coming, says James. You did say United were going back to last year's roots, Mark, says Gonçalo. Ten Hag masterclass. Ronaldo breaking records while Ten Hag's breaking hearts, says Alan Cruz. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. I suspect we've got a lot of people tuning in to laugh at United at the moment, but there's also probably a lot of United fans tuning in for therapy. Make sure you subscribe, bottom right hand corner. We've got you covered with player ratings and everything. I mean, to be honest with you, I've been doing this for years, and I don't really think there is a genuine United fan out there at the moment that's banging the table and going, I can't believe it. Because I can believe it. And I've done plenty of things over the years. Pink boots, cats shitting on a marble floor, the lot. But the problem with United at the moment is we're not surprised because Wolves came to United and absolutely dominated us. All Forest have done is scored the 2 chances that Wolves couldn't score from the many that they had. There is a hierarchy in that changing room that decide if we play well or not, says Charlie. And they threw Josie under the bus. They will do the same to Ten Hag, says Charlie. Defence got us third last year. If the defence is gone this year, we're still not scoring. We're in real big trouble, says Cool. What is wrong with the people calling for Eric Ten Hag to leave? This is a player mentality issue, says Nabil. You can't build a team around average players like Bruno and Rashford, says Glyn. And Dean Henderson must be creaming his pants, says AM. But I don't actually agree with that. Like, what has Onana done wrong? Like, both goals are from shots basically in the 6-yard box. Look, I still think United can come back, but to go 2-0 down is shocking. We're in for another Liverpool-like hammering this season, says Jenna. Look, next week against Arsenal, the following week against Brighton, or after the international break, I'd really be worried. Why do we always focus on transfers, says Matthew. We need to sort out the football and organisation. We should have kept Ralphie, said we needed open heart surgery, says Una. Stuck in traffic trying to get home quick for the game. Glad I missed the first 10 minutes, says UK Enterprise. And how much do we have to pay Rashford for him to sprint and put a foot in, says Avi. I'm still in disbelief on the first goal, how Rashford couldn't be bothered with the tackle and then got beaten in a foot race. He'll be panicking now. I tell you what, Ten Hag's arse is going to be twitching like a bunny's nose. He'll be panicking now. I'm not turning on him, but he's had a full pre-season, got 7 of his own signings. Eric Ten Hag has 0 excuses, says Sean. Why do people blame Ten Hag, says JJ? Everyone is so impatient with managers these days. Mate, I back Ten Hag to the hilt. Everybody knows that, but you can't be 2-0 down after 4 minutes at home to Nottingham Forest. Sheehan says, I'm right. I'm like you, Mark. I'm not even angry. No emotion at all, as if this is what I expect now. Do you think players knowing that a club's whole management, fans not liking owners influence the effort they put in despite whoever the manager is, says Al Ben? I think it runs down a football club. I think football players need to be motivated and up for it, and I think they feed off the way the club is run. You know, the Mason Greenwood thing was a very negative thing as well. I think the club, well, I know for a fact behind the scenes that the club is in major turmoil at the moment, and there's a lot of disillusionment in there, and that obviously it may be a factor. Get rid of every player that played under Ollie, says Brian. We are still so bad in set pieces. When will this get sorted out? Our players don't even look like they make an effort to go for the ball. Well, who was that guy that Ollie brought in? Was it Ramsey? the set-piece specialist. He's not a set-piece specialist. We scored a couple of set-pieces last year and people were like, oh yeah, he's finally the guy. And then we've been crap with him ever since. So I agree with you, Ivan. Players throwing managers under the bus again. Why do we trust them? How many more managers are we going to turn against because of these players, says James. And I love Erik ten Hag, but this feels so similar to Ollie's last season with us. It feels low. The players look like they've given up. Erik ten Hag looks visibly frustrated, says Ryan. But the thing is, Ryan, you can't... Some people might not be aware of this, but we played Dortmund pre-season, and after the game, he came out and slagged the players off and said they're not doing what I'm asking them to do. Yesterday, in his press conference, he said after 35 minutes, the players stopped doing what I was telling them to do. He's publicly said twice in the last few weeks that basically the players don't do what he's told them to do. So, Casemiro gets the ball there. This just looks like a team that's come in with a sense of urgency and intensity. Honestly, this team just looks unfocused, says Omar. Eric is not enough of a character. The players don't respect him, says Brick. Unorganised, low confidence. Hope this is a wake-up call, says Matthew. Walked in the pub, hear the second one go in. Second thought was I best stick United stand on to see Mark's reaction, says John. Watching United feels like a stale marriage, says Danny. And really hope we don't turn on Ten Hag, says Jack. Mate, you know what? People will. It's almost like it's like a comfy pair of trainers, isn't it? Things go wrong, you blame the manager. But all I'd say is, if you miss the first two goals, then the first goal, they're both preventable. And as somebody who's coached and played the game, we're 2-0. We're playing in the Premier League. Like, we're not playing Salford. We're playing Nottingham Forest, who lost 2-1 at the Emirates. They didn't get battered at the Emirates. So they're organised teams. And if you give them a free goal, they'll take it. We've given them 2 free goals. I can't explain it. It's not like Forest have played us off the park. They've been gifted 2 goals. Like, the first goal is... I'm actually stunned by the first goal because everything is right about the way United are set up. We win a corner, Forest win the corner, and then it's just a one. Last man is Rashford. Their striker's there. He's got to win that tackle. He's got to win that tackle. And when he doesn't win the tackle, he's got to be quick enough to run back and get him. And he doesn't win the tackle. Doesn't want to win the tackle. And he doesn't want to run back either. So I would ask the question, why was he in that position in the first place? And at the end of the day, he shouldn't be on the pitch. He shouldn't be on the pitch. If he is not going to put his body on the line for the team, then he shouldn't be on the pitch. That first goal is completely on Marcus Rashford. He's given Nottingham Forest a goal. The second goal, I don't know what Wan-Bissaka, I don't know what Martinez are doing there, but they should win that header. So that's, defensive issues. Goal for United, 2-1. We've got one back. It's Eriksen, and that's what we want to see Rashford doing. There's still time. Manchester United have got one back. It's only 16 minutes. It's 2-1. Let's not overreact here. I never said we were going to lose the game. There was plenty of time for us to get back into it. Let's go. Let's go. And this is more like it, really. It starts off with a shot from Bruno Fernandes, and Martial there lays it off into Rashford. Rashford doing what he's all about. Nice little cross. People are saying offside. Absolutely no chance. That's what we want to see from Rashford. Much better. Much more direct. Isolates Aurier, who may as well be a bag of cement himself here. He's done him over 2 yards. Puts across it. I tell you what. All over. I like that from Rashford. I like that from Rashford. Love that from Rashford. Takes on his man, puts a cross in. Simple and effective. Told you, it could end up being an absolutely cracking game. Could end up being a really cracking game. Club management is poor. Not getting 60 million for Maguire and McTominay. Still not sold players to bring in players. We all knew we needed 2 strikers, says Nick. My feeling on this game is that it's got exactly the feel of Cooper comes out at the end and says we scored too early. I think they have scored too early. You know, as it's a horrifically bad start by United, and Ten Hag should rip their heads off at half time. But we could go in. We could still go in leading at half time. There's a long way to go. At least your games are entertaining, says UK Enterprise. Rashford is so much better on the left. Well, I've got Rashford in my team, so that's an assist. Club management is poor. Not getting. I've done that one from Nick as well. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. I'm just trying to catch up on them. The things off the pitch are affecting the players, says Def, and mindset on the pitch. Players are weak and they will turn on the manager. Bruno, Rashford, Ericsson, get in. Let's go, boys, says Demo. And Ranyuk said you need to sell the whole squad. This includes the likes of Bruno and Rashford, which they never will. Half the squad aren't Ten Hag styles of players, says Rex. Well, I think we're in for a very entertaining afternoon now. United have got to... look, somebody just said in the chat, a draw is not acceptable. A draw is a dross. It's basically a loss. We need to win the game. Look, I can see the division in the chat. The start to the game has been incredibly bad, but we can still win this game and learn the lessons. My stance at the moment is positivity. Let's win the game. The bigger picture, we are going to get absolutely arse-slapped by Brighton and Arsenal in the next two games. We are all over the place. This is just because we're at Old Trafford against a team that's, you know, a team that's going to be fighting for relegation. You go 2-0 down to Arsenal, you go 2-0 down to Brighton, you ain't coming back. And the scary thing is, both those goals that we've conceded, they weren't exclusive to Forest. We could have conceded them against anybody. So no matter what happens in this game, if you have been negative and pissed off, I've got to acknowledge you're probably right, because we've gifted 2 goals to a team that never should be scoring 2 goals at Old Trafford. You do that and play like that against better teams, there won't be a comeback. The reason we can come back here is it's Old Trafford and it's against the relegation side. And I think we will come back, and we've got to get behind that. But the bigger picture is that the team's all over the place. You can't ignore that, some of the way that we've played. Martial's not going to get onto that. Genuine question, what's the difference between Ollie and Ten Hag, says Devin? Well, a trophy, top 3. Actual coaching of players, development of players. Forest are on the attack again here. Good tackle by Wan-Bissaka. Why does it feel like players are not listening to Erik Ten Hag? Many players are his signings or renewed with his blessing, says Hamada. He's pissing it down with rain, by the way. Absolutely chucking it down. If you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a better coach than Ten Hag, then I would suggest you go and take up knitting. Solskjaer, most of the problems we have at this club are because of Solskjaer. That's the stupid thing. I don't even like talking about Solskjaer, because he is the manufacturer of a lot of the problems that we face now. You know, why is Harry Maguire at the club? The lack of discipline, the lack of motivation, and a lot of the mentality of these players. Hi Mark, I feel that neglecting the Glazer factor, lack of effort is never acceptable. I'd rather focus on my study in university, says Luke. Well, look, let's not disrespect Forest. They can still go and score goals. I still think United don't look sharp enough, but that's a foul on Martial, surely. We're in for a cracker here, though. Whatever happens, we're in for a cracker. You know it's true. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner, Lars says, I back Ten Hag. I love this coach. Players need him, says Lars. And with how bad we started, I will say that Martial is making our attack look a lot better. Ivan, look, there's a lot better. We need an Arna too. Delobi doing a good job. I tell you what, I'm starting to feel a bit happier, because when we were 2-0 down, we had 73,000 watching. It's gone down to a more reasonable 50,000 at the moment, which means that the people who are watching, who are rival fans, have given up, which is great. We've got to back our manager. I don't want to, I keep talking about this on the 8 o'clock shows in the week. We've got to back the manager. We've been here before. We know the problem at United. It's the players. It's not the manager. It's the owners. It's not the manager. You shouldn't be judging a manager until he's got proper owners and the squad that he wants. He hasn't got the squad that he wants, and he hasn't got the backing that he wants. Hassan says, why are we attacking the Stretford end first? I presume Forest won the toss and chose. Here's Rashford again. Skinned himself there. Unlucky. United Forever says, this is scary. We're getting our pants pulled down at Arsenal and Brighton. Major worry. Look, United Forever, I get the concern. I really, really do. But let's focus on the game here. Let's focus on the now. You know, Arsenal's next week. Brighton's 3 weeks' time. So let's focus on this game here. I agree, but let's focus on now. This game will set the tone for our season. Big comeback or heads down defeat. We have a new manager and players. Eric Ten Hag needs to look at the coaching staff, says Ryan. And the reason a manager is hired is usually the same reason they are fired. Carlo Ancelotti, says Desert. What we don't want to do is lose the momentum. You know, it was 2-0 in the first 4 minutes. It was 2-1 after 15 minutes. We've had 25 minutes now. We need to get back into this game for half-time. Arsenal are still 1-0 down. Brentford are 1-0 up against Palace. Just need the game to calm down a little bit here. Caught short again. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe, by the way. We're getting very close to 717,000. Get involved with the United Stand. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Another corner for Manchester United. Eriksen's miles ahead of Mount. He only lacks steel. Well, look, we're not going to dwell on that first goal massively because we're still 2-1 down. But I liked what Rashford did. King Cantona, thanks for your super chat. I like what Rashford did, and I like the fact that Eriksen got in the box. Mount will be looking at that and going, you know, why is that not working for me? But it's not going to be working for him for a while, and I don't really care about Mount at the moment. I care about Man United getting back into this game. Oh my God! Oh my God! Timo Casemiro, what has he just done? This happened last season as well. Was it? Who did he do this against last season? Same thing. Absolute sitter. Timo Casemiro. That is unbelievable. It skims across. He's 6 yards out and he's missed an open goal. He's not even 6 yards out. More like 6 inches out. I can't believe it. That's miss of the season. It definitely is. It should be 2-2. Still confident we will come back. Let's hope it's not a season when we have to concede, says Jordan. And why the inconsistency? If Ollie's the reason for Maguire, why not criticise Eric Ten Hag on Anthony? Mate, Kay, go and walk around the garden and sing Ten Hag out. Don't want to listen to you. Sorry. I know people are saying, well, it's all about opinion. It is all about opinion, and unfortunately, I'm presenting the show. I cannot get my hat on why people are comparing Ten Hag to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer or Jose Mourinho. He's literally 2 and a bit games into a new season, having won us a trophy and took us to 3rd in the league. And for some reason, morons in our fan base are thinking about Ten Hag out. I cannot get my head around that. What in your head leads you to go Ten Hag out after finishing 3rd and winning a trophy last year, when we're meant to have been sold to Qatar and we're still owned by the Glazers and the club's a bloody mess? But let's all stick it on the manager. Yeah, it's his fault that we've not been sold yet, isn't it? I'll tell you what, I'm going to bloody love it when we win this game, because you have to keep your negativity in your pocket for another couple of weeks, won't you? Although Forest are on the attack here. One thing I will acknowledge is anybody can create chances against us at the moment. Hi Mark, is this the wake-up call the team has needed? Says Bizarre. And why the... well, look, I don't think it's a wake-up call. You know, that midfield is wide open. It's like the Grand Canyon. Can we all appreciate what the presence of a proper 9 does to the team, says Christopher. Our midfield is wide open. I tell you what as well, you can forget the Golden Glove. There ain't no way Onana's winning the Golden Glove this season. If this continues, no way. Anthony, I don't know whether that was a cross or a shot. Would absolutely love to see Amrabat in the midfield with that calm control. Casemiro is world-class ball winner, but Amrabat dictates a game, says Noah. At least now people should see why Rashford is better on the left, says Kevin. Thank you, Kevin. If we lose, will the board panic buy and overpay for Gravenberch, Todibo and Amrabat, says Alex? I don't think so. We need to back Ten Hag. It's stupid not to. He's the right manager for this club. We need another midfielder. This must be sorted, says Matthew. Casemiro's finished, says Reese. We'll move on from that. Marcus has lost 3 50-50 tackles. This is worth 350 grand a week, says Brian. I never like it when we're attacking Stretford End in the first half, says Chris. And Anthony needs to do much better, says Mott. Lovely ball by Bruno. Anthony will get there as well. He's got to move this quicker here. He can't hold it up. Nice ball into Martial. He's... Oh, come on then. I thought there might be a penalty there. No, he's offside. Forest. The thing is, there's chances out there. I wouldn't say it's impossible for Forest to score again. Get Palestri on, says Joe. Take Anthony off. He's got to sort that midfield out. I have a bet Man United and Arsenal will win today, says Reese. I think you'll be all right. I think both teams will come back, although they are still losing at the moment, Arsenal. 1-0 at home to Fulham. Andreas Pereira scoring the goal there. Wan-Bissaka's just put a very good cross in, but Marcus Rashford's nowhere bloody near it. It's a very open game, says Forrest Gump. Well, it is a very open game, and that's a good thing because we need it to be open. But I also think that in the context of the season in general, we're wide open in the midfield. Need a goal before half time, says Beery. Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Mark, what would you do if Ian Beale lowered the price of his muffins, says Geordie? And Glazers are useless as a pair of knockers on a none, says AM. Another full stadium, good luck getting the Glazers out, says Jappa. And I've never seen Anthony put a good ball into the box, says Ethan. A few people saying Anthony's playing well. I mean, again, look, he's an easy target, isn't he? We all get angry and we all have our frustrations. Wonder how people would feel if Anthony was 15 million instead of 80, says Risa. Ericsson is useless, gives it away constantly and never an effort to win it back. Soft, says Daniel. And Forrester on the attack again here on the break. And Arna gets hold of it. Eric Ten Hag should stop the favouritism with Anthony, says Kay. I can dribble better. We've crossed more in this half than we have the entirety of the other games. I grew up with it, United. Good to see they're back. Big up, Mark, says Daniel. Thomas, thanks for your super chat. What the hell is happening, says Mr. Dude. Well, Rashford's in the box. Took it early. Cleared away. The team is so passive and slow, especially in defence and transition. Pre-game warm-ups were casual. There's real intense. Guess who came out sharper, says Rob. And compared to last season, I've noticed in all our games we're playing a higher line than last. Hence why we're wide open in the back with an unbalanced midfield. Midfield's got to be fixed, says Tamba. And Big Samps, thank you very much for being a member. Wan-Bissaka's done really well here. Get your head up, mate. Get your head up. Oh. Just deflected across the face of the goal. Good play by... I think Bruno's having a good game. Guys, always back the manager, says Jim Ross. Our crossing is either perfect, but no one is there, or someone is there and that the cross is crap. Anthony has to step up. His price tag is hurting him, says Matt. Arsenal still losing at home to Fulham. Don't really care. Varane does well. Can't fault Varane this season. He's done nothing wrong. He's nowhere near either of the goals that we conceded. Either he's up for the corner on the first one, and the second one, he's marking his man. Do I think we'll win this, says Rudy? I do. I'm not worried at the moment. I do think we'll win it. Terrible ball by Casemiro. Unless Anthony's scoring every time he has the ball, people are hating on him. It's unreal, says Jason. Back United now more than ever, says Des. I'd like one before half time, 10 minutes. It was such a fast opener. If Forest feel that they can defend well and do us on the break, then they'll grow in confidence. Who's gone with the runner there? Fucking hell. Casemiro's just let him go. Good defending by Varane again. Bloody hell. I mean, I've got to admit, Casemiro's having a bloody terrible game today. No, I'll admit, Casemiro's way off today. Just unbelievable. I can't believe that. I'm all for supporting Anthony, young player, but he has been very poor. Is Casemiro interested, says Nasha. I don't know. Maybe fancies a move to Saudi. I don't know. I mean, Casemiro, if you know anything about him, is a very motivated player. Come on, Rashford. He's down the wing here. If we don't sign both Gravenberch and Amrabat, we should say goodbye to top six. Rashford has way too many days when he can't be bothered, says Kia. Nabil says there's no link between the attackers. Midfield is non-existent. What hell is going on? Nasha says, I'm all for supporting Anthony, but he's been very poor again. And Casemiro to the Saudi gravy train, says Callum. Mate, the first thing that came into my head is Casemiro looking at Saudi Arabia, because he ain't anywhere near what he should be doing. Hi, Dad. I think Anthony needs bigger shin pads. And can I have a banana, please, says Mark Goldbridge. Rasmus will give so much more to our game, says Chris. Well, let's not be unrealistic, Chris. He won't give us a balanced midfield. I don't think Martial's done too bad in this game. Ericsson again, not fancying a 50-50 there. That's better by Casemiro. Oh, Anthony. Come on, lads. I've got to push here. Rashford's trying to be subbed, says OTB. Well, mate, unfortunately, the bench is shit. You've got McTominay, Maguire. You've got Gore, Garnacho, Sancho, Pellistri. Yeah, there's not a lot. Has he just booked Anthony for that? Did Anthony get booked for that? Donny's not on the bench, D. Rashford looks lost. Well, at least he's got an assist, David. Team's just so imbalanced. I'm fed up with saying it, but he didn't get booked. He didn't get booked. Good. Good ball by Anthony into Ericsson. He needs a layoff here. I think Delo should have shot there. Rasmus will be better in the link-up play, says Chris. Don't think people understand that Anthony allows us to get further up the pitch. Unfortunately, we don't know what to do with it. Well, he's got it in the box here, Anthony. Lays it off to Bruno. Oh, I tell you what, I thought he did that quite well. Blocked. I think Casemiro is very unfit. Have you seen him? He gets skipped all the time and doesn't track the runners. Get Amrabat in now, says Robert. Anthony is great in running with the ball along the line and brings the team up the pitch and is aggressive in defence. He just needs to improve his final third game, says Boza. He's got it at the moment. And it's corner. Mark, is the hangover from last season and World Cup almost no off-season and our lack of squad depth? I don't see any in players. Says Sol. No, yeah, we've been speaking about that a lot, mate. I think you're absolutely spot on. I think we played a lot of football last year, and I think there is a bit of a hangover. You're right. Also, Mum's text, she's got a chemical imbalance, says Mark Goldbridge. Okay, hi, Dad, I had some nice fish fatigue. Okay, I'm going to start reading those out. We're trying to watch a game of football. It was partially funny, the first one. Now it's just sad. Can we get Fred back, says Barker. We just look so lost as an attacking side. No one seems to know what the plan is. Oh, come on. Second ball. People think Amrabat will play alongside Casemiro, but I can see him being his replacement. Ten Hag will play Mount and Bruno, says Rubble. Well, we'll be fucked if he keeps doing that. I think Casemiro is just complacent because he has no one to challenge his place. At Madrid, he had to play top level, says Ivan. And we don't even look good on the break anymore, says Noah. I mean, one thing I would say about Casemiro is, you know, these people saying he's finished. I don't think he looks fit. I don't think he looks finished. You know, he's all over the place. A lot of the time, he's the guy who's breaking into the attack. Jordan Hall, welcome to the Members Club. The team just seems like they hate each other. No chemistry. This is a team who should be clear-cut top four favourites. Says Lucas. I don't disagree with you on that, Lucas. I really don't. I think you're right. I think the team, for some reason, seems to have lost chemistry, which is odd. But you know what? I'm going to say this, and it might get clipped up, but I'm going to say it because I've observed it over the first 3 games of the season. Last season, United's success in everything we achieved was not by blowing teams out of the water 3 or 4-0. We won a lot of games by the odd goal because we defended really, really well. That defence was De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Casemiro. And they defended as a unit, and they loved it as a unit. And there was high fives, there was hugs, they motivated each other. That's not happened this season. It's not happened in pre-season. It's not happened in any of the games I've seen. They are not defending like that. Delo, Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, De Gea, Casemiro. It was fist pumps, hugs, you know, chest pumps, the lot. We're not defending like that anymore. So, look, that's what that sometimes happens when you change the personalities. There was a chemistry and there was a relationship, and some people don't want to acknowledge that, but there was, and we haven't got that at the moment, and it runs through the team. But the problem is, the attack didn't have that. We were successful last year because the defence worked their arse off for each other, and we were very hard to score against, apart from 2 or 3 games where we got pummeled. But when you take that away, this team's in trouble. Enjoy writing. Thank you very much, pal. I don't think we are a team on paper that should be challenging for anything. Poor attack, poor midfield, defence is okay, but could still be better, says Odo. And who comes in first, Sancho or Palestri? Anthony is still only left-footed, same old tricks. I really want him to get at least 10 assists this season, says Matt. Could be an unpopular opinion, but I think Sancho in. I thought he looked class in pre-season. We also need to sign at least one midfielder, says Jim. Here's Bruno. I mean, I'm tempted to say Spurs will look at United and they'll be licking their lips, but they've already done that. They did it last week. So, hi Mark, there seems to be no balance with the midfield and the attack, and pray for my dad. He's in hospital for a chest infection. God willing, he'll be okay in the next few days. Yeah, Mohammed, big shout out to Mohammed's dad there. Hopefully he gets the care and attention he needs in hospital and is on the road to recovery. Sherry says, for the time being, Erik ten Hag should drop the inverted wingers, at least for Anthony's sake. He would do better on the left. And Man United is playing like Monica Seles. Magic is missing, says Bobby. She never came back, and I'm apprehensive Man United too will be the same. And this season is how Erik ten Hag football. It's very attacking. The balance is not there because Omar doesn't have a world-class fullbacks in possession. Says Anthony. Hi Mark, watching you from Victorious Festival. Shambolic start from United. Something is going seriously wrong again with us. I fear for Ten Hag, says Rob. Well, we're about to hit half time here. It's 3 minutes added on, and what I feared would happen is happening. You know, we get within a sniff after 15 minutes, 2-1, and then for half an hour we've done bloody nothing. As it says, it's the curse of De Gea. And why are Lindelof and Maguire warming up, says Kia. I don't want to see Maguire in a United shirt ever again. So I don't know what that's all about. Liam Whitehouse, the game's gone a bit flat. Can't afford to drop. I don't know where you put United at the moment. I really don't know where you put United at the moment. Well, he's booking someone for time wasting here. Which is interesting. I'm not a big fan of that myself, but it might benefit us. Yeah, look, if United don't win this game, I don't know where our season goes, because you go to the Emirates. All right, Fulham are winning there at the moment. Then you go to Brighton. But, you know, one thing about that Wolves game is we did win it. Another block. Could have been three to Forest there. Could have been 3. Look, I just tweeted about Rashford. I like Rashford, as you know, and his attacking talent is great. But you can't be in the Premier League and not tackle. And he doesn't want to tackle. He's got 0 upper body strength, says Mark. I mean, you've probably just seen the thing that everyone's talking about. He just doesn't want to tackle. And as good as he is, he should go and play in a different league, because you can't not be physical in the Premier League. You can't give up 50-50s. It's all, football's all about percentages and where you're going to win the ball back. And if you've got a player that is not interested in tackling, it's a problem. Where has this effort been the last couple of games? Quick 2-touch football. Why do these players need to be losing to switch on, says Ryan. And an Arna signing changes everything. We play higher up the pitch. That works if the defensive players have pace and the team know how to retain the ball, says Bobby. Martial is one of the laziest players I've ever seen, says AM. Oh, okay, we're going in on Martial now. And that is half time. I can't hear the crowd, but I would imagine they'll be pretty pissed off and vocal about it. Nottingham Forest, I've got to say, deserve to be 2-1 up at half-time. I don't think United have got enough going on in that game to say that they deserve to get back to 2-2. I think 2-1 is a fair reflection of scoreline at half-time. And therefore, you've got to look at it and say Manchester United should not be 2-1 down to a team like Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford, deservedly so. It's not acceptable. Delo's been good in possession, says David. And also, not sure what Eric Ten Hag backup plan is. Rashford's been awful and not interested. Bruno's the only attacking threat. Casemiro's just not there. And what do you change, says Nasha. After watching 2.5 games, it looks like we are tactically different at the back. The centre midfielders only drop in if we're outnumbered or else pass them on to defenders. Last season it was 6 at the back, says Rob. And wow, I think the players finally understand their effort and mindset matters. The fact that they kick themselves into gear is a step forward after 2022, says Joe. And Mark, do you think Rashford deserves 350k a week? Also, Maguire should play down the Whittle, says Credit Card. Look, I look at that half and I want to obviously get your thoughts on it. I just need to stop the clock as well. The major issue for me is that we're losing. We're losing the game 2-1. And with how things are now, I'm downgrading our transfer window to a generous 5. The squad lacks depth, says Chiri. We have a lot of problems, arguably the least athletic team in the league. Look, Michelle, look, we're 2-0 down after 3 minutes, and I've banged chairs. I've, lost my shit over the years doing United Stand. And when you're 2-0 down after 3 minutes against Nottingham Forest at Old Trafford, a lot of people would probably expect a reaction where I'm absolutely pulling my hair out. But I'm not, because we've had this for so long now, and the warning signs are there. Like, I wouldn't give the transfer window a 5. I'd give it a 2. I think it's a joke. I think it's an absolute joke. I think the team is on its knees. I think the club is all over the place, and it's feeding through. There's no plan at United. The problem with Manchester United is there's no plan. What is the plan for Man United? Are we trying to build a stadium better than Real Madrid? Are we trying to compete with Man City? Are we happy with top 4? Or are we happy with 6th? I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the identity is. And that's from the very top of the club. There is no vision at Man United. We've all got our individual vision, but there is no vision. And it comes across clear as day. The thing that terrifies me from a footballing point of view is that no matter who we play this season, we will give them chances. But we've only played Wolves, Spurs and Forest. This was 9 points in the bag when the fixture list came out. Based on the fixture list came out in the middle of June. We'd just finished 3rd and won a trophy. You looked at it, Wolves, Forest at home, sandwiched between that, Spurs away. That's 9 points. Get the season up and running. At the moment, we're sitting on 3 lucky points and we might lose today or draw, which would be a terrible result. So we have massively, massively dropped off from last season. The reason for that is that for some unknown reason, we have got no sharpness. We've got no fitness. We've got no togetherness. We've got no idea what we're doing. The players look completely lost in and out of possession, which is terrifying because you can be lost in possession, but when you're out of possession, you can be like, well, I know where I've got to be. They don't seem to know what they're doing. They don't seem to know what the plan is, like I say, with or without the ball. And we will give any... I said this in pre-season. In pre-season, I could see it. We will get our arse handed on a plate badly at least twice next season. And I don't mean lose to Spurs 2-0. I mean 4, 5 or more. We will get absolutely turned over by somebody very, very soon, if I'm being honest. But it will definitely happen. If Nottingham Forest, I mean, I want to go to this here. This is just case in points, right? This will confirm it, right? So, Nottingham Forest have had 3... I mean, that surprises me. They've had 3 shots, 2 on target. But that actually almost ruins my point. But it doesn't really, because we've only played 45 minutes and they don't need to attack anymore because they've got 2 goals. But have we won the midfield battle? No. Visibly, no. Have we... dominated Nottingham Forest for any period of time longer than 5 minutes? No. We're Manchester United at Old Trafford. Wolves dominated us and Nottingham Forest have come and scored 2 goals in the first 5 minutes, and they're winning. They're winning at half time. So I think when I look at it, Spurs did the same as well. Bruno needs support, says Vu. Spurs have done it as well. We are hugely disjointed, and if we play like this against a Newcastle or an Aston Villa, I'm not even going to mention Arsenal or Man City or Liverpool. We play like this against a Newcastle or an Aston Villa or a Brighton, and it'd be over. It'd be over already. Like, you can't not tackle. You can't not put the effort in. You can't leave that amount of space. There is so much space out there. NASA want to sponsor our midfield. It's ridiculous. The first goal as well, look, Marcus Rashford's got an assist. He's in my fantasy Premier League team. I like Marcus Rashford, but that's like managing the sidemen. You know, when I was managing the sidemen last year, I've got to bring players on because everyone's got to be given game time. So I'm bringing people on who've never kicked a ball before, and I'm like, I can't even hide them at right back because I've got to bring 3 or 4 of them on. So I'm putting them in, I'm putting them at centre back, and it's almost like my gran could rise from the dead in the middle of the pitch and run through and score. And I'm watching Rashford on that first goal, and I'm like, I can't believe it. I can't believe why he's the last man on a corner, and I can't believe his total and utter lack of interest in winning the ball and then running back. It has to be called out. Rashford's a really important player for us, but you're the last man for Manchester United. You've got to go and win that 50-50, and then if you miss out, you've got to sprint as quick as you can to get back. He does neither. I mean, I tell you what, if that was Casemiro, or that was Anthony, or that was Anthony Martial, the Pratt Brigade on the radio and on media would go absolutely mad. He has a Man United shirt on, and he can't be asked to put everything into a tackle and put everything into a sprint back. He's not the only one, but Rashford doesn't want to tackle anymore. I think since he's back, he doesn't want to tackle. But you can't carry a player like that. You're putting yourself down to 10 men when you haven't got the ball, when a player won't tackle. He doesn't want to tackle. So why is he the last man? And I've got to look at the coaches there and say, why is Rashford the last man for the break? He's purposely there. He's purposely the last man if we get broken on. Why? You train him every day. You must know he doesn't like tackling. You must know he's not happy being in that position. So that was absolutely shocking. The cross itself, people not attacking, not organised, not knowing what their job is. Martinez and Wan-Bissaka almost half-heartedly go for a ball that either of them should be winning. And we're 2-0 down. But we're giving up so many chances. Spurs, Wolves, Forest. And these teams, I mean, look, Spurs might have a good season. Wolves and Forest are going to be fighting relegation. What's going to happen when we play a proper football team? We're going to get absolutely demolishment. It'll be a demolition job. And the scary thing is you look at the bench and you go, well, there's nothing on there that's going to change that. You look at injuries and you go, there's nothing there that's going to change that. I mean, Højlund, I think, will do well. Obviously, Luke Shaw's an important player, but he's played the first 2 games of the season and made no bloody difference. Mason Mount, I look at the team and we haven't got the players to solve the problems that we have. The problem's the midfield. I mean, I'd look at what Spurs have got and I'd go, that's the way to go. 2 midfielders who are combative, energetic, and won't stop running. Bissouma and Sarr. I'd be looking at that model for Man United, but he doesn't seem to want to do that at the moment. Still trying to fix a midfield that's been broken since Sir Alex Ferguson had to drag Scholes out of retirement is bizarre. I think not having a real captain in the squad is a big issue, says Michael. No one on the pitch lift the players or bollock them. We need to sign a captain. Do scouts actually look at captain material, says Michael? I don't think we need to buy a captain, mate. I really don't think we need to buy a captain. You're telling me, I mean, I like Bruno as a captain, but you're telling me if we had Roy Keane, Marcus Rashford's going to make that tackle, or everyone's going to be sharper and fitter. You buy players, mate. You don't buy a captain. A captain can't polish a turd. The mentality, fitness, and sharpness, and togetherness, and chemistry is just not there. That's not the captain's job. All the captain would do is bollock Marcus Rashford, who'd probably tell him to F off. Like, that's not going to make a massive amount of difference. We need the players. Stop if you heard this before. Second season club doesn't back the manager and players down tools. Why play hard for a guy the club doesn't back, says VU. Okay, guys, sack Erik ten Hag and bring in who? Yeah, exactly, says Cameron. I can't believe people are going in on Ten Hag, by the way. I find it incredible. I expect that to be on the media who need the clicks. I don't expect intelligent Manchester United fans to be going in on Erik ten Hag. He can't make Marcus Rashford go and win the ball or sprint back. He can't make Martinez and Wan-Bissaka head that ball. If any of those players do... Look, let's be honest. Second goal, 9 times out of 10, Martinez or Wan-Bissaka win that header and they don't score. First goal... 9 times, in fact, I'd say 99 times out of 100, if it wasn't Marcus Rashford, that 50-50 gets won. But, you know, let's blame it on Ten Hag. He can only do what he can do with the players that he's got. And I just think that there's almost a hypocrisy in blaming Ten Hag in this fan base, because on one hand, all I hear all the time is the Glazers are ruining this club. They're destroying the club. They're a major issue, and the summer's been absolutely shit. And then but then people want to go get Ten Hag out. I'm like, so the Glazers are absolutely destroying the club from top to bottom. Murta and Arnold are a pair of clowns who've conducted another crap transfer window, but you also want Ten Hag to go as well. Do you not think the first two issues would be massively damaging to Klopp, Eddie Howe, or any other manager? The problem at Man United is the problem we know at Manchester United. It comes down to the way the club is run. If we lose this game, at least they will panic buy and get us players that we want, but I still see us coming back and at least trying this game. Luke, as I said during the game, I expect us to win the game. We have to win the game. But even if we do win the game, there's still massive problems. Anyone who blames Ten Hag is deluded. When do people start questioning the structure of the club? It's a mess, says Aldo. I'm disgusted, says Danny. The summer has been terrible. Wasted 60 million on Mount. Evans is not good enough. Everything is just going wrong. Life is not great, says Dominic. And if Anthony and Rashford come out second half, Ten Hag needs to have a word with himself. I love Eric, but he needs to make that decision. And I remember when Arteta had a rough start and they were asking for his job. Look what happened since then. We must trust Ten Hag, says CC. Thanks everyone who's tuning in and having their say. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and get involved. You're very, very welcome. Don't forget, in relation to the stats as well, you can download the OneFootball app for free. Get all your latest breaking news, transfer news, all your latest score updates as well. Plus, they individualise the player stats as well. So you can go in and have a look at who's misplaced passes and tackles and everything like that. Download it for free. Links in the description, or you can scan the QR code in the top right-hand corner. Big shout out to OneFootball. Nasher United says, poor player performance. Erik ten Hag has what he has until he gets through the transfer window. Andy Weatherall has gifted a membership. You're a legend, Andy. I don't like the fullbacks tucking in. Team doesn't understand that yet. It's too crowded against the low block. Lindelof is coming on, says Akash. Rashford gets a new contract and he's back to his old self. Get Garnacho and Palestri on, says Varun. The only explanation of people hating on Anthony more than Rashford after that half is literally racism. Get Rashford off, says James. And is the curse of the demonic denominator? The third kit, says QWERTY. Look, the thing is, I think if you're questioning Ten Hag, you're probably doing your job as a fan, because everyone's got a right to do that. But if you're genuinely thinking Ten Hag needs to leave, then I think you've gone way too far. And also, let's not forget that with regards to the United situation, if you are starting to think about being Ten Hag out, is there not a huge part of you that is thinking, well, you know what, I want to see him with a new manager. I want to see him with a new manager. I can't believe Varane's come off. Why has Varane come off? Why is Varane off? It must be injury, because he was one of our best players again. I don't know. I mean, it's got to be injury. It's got to be injury. I don't understand that at all. At least it's not Maguire. It's mentality. Why wait until 2-0 down to start playing? Exactly the same under Ollie, says Shane. Lindelof's coming on. It might be just for the ability to play out from the back. Maybe he's protecting him. I don't know. We lose height. We lose height with that. I don't know. Might be tactical. Lindelof's a better passer. Oh, it's a mess, isn't it? It's an absolute mess. I mean, look, taking Varane off shouldn't change the way the game goes in relation to getting back into it. But the only reason Ten Hag is being questioned is because he's tactically out of his depth compared to De Zerbi with less resources, says Arjun. I'm with you, PJ. Varane actually had a very good first half again. He was nothing to do with either of the goals that we conceded. So you'd wonder if it's an injury again. That needed to go first time. Bruno, and it was the wrong pass to Martial. Otherwise, he would have been in. This was supposed to be Kim Min-jae, says Faris. Mark, what player position do you think would make the best change for United this season, says Nathan. We need a midfielder. See, one ball over the top and the Forest attacker is quicker than Lindelof. Oh my God, it's nearly 3-1 again. Delo with an interception. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, I tell you. Get Anthony off, says Mr. Dude. I don't know. Half time in the other games at the moment. Arsenal are still losing 1-0 at the Emirates to Fulham. And Brentford are beating Crystal Palace 1-0. So there'll be a lot of... I play win, lose or draw against Ben Faster. And I'm getting a lot of things wrong at the moment. India go to the moon for 75 million. Anthony costs 90, says Amar. If I had a shining light from the first half, it would be... I thought Varane did well, but Bruno as well. I'm just trying to find out if I can get any information for you on Varane. Here's Martial. There's a lot of talk that he's actually injured. I can't confirm that, but a few people are saying it looks like it might be an injury. Certainly doesn't make a lot of sense. We're screwed without Varane, says Demo. All these people getting at Ten Hag and saying it's just like under Ollie. Maybe it's something to do with the players. Eric Ten Hag, far superior to Ollie, says James. Honestly, my problem isn't with Eric Ten Hag. It's all the players. Literally would only keep 2 or 3 from the current squad. They're just not quality enough for United, says Hunt. And if it wasn't for Sir Jim, we could have had Qatar and got Kane, Kim Min-jae and Rice, says Taraj. And it's a great point, actually. If Sir Jim hadn't come up with the theory of trying to keep the Glazers in place and left it to Qatar, it probably would have been sorted by now. I'm almost certain Ten Hag is playing his centre midfielders higher to try to be more like an Eric Ten Hag team. Casemiro is checking if he needs to drop, not just dropping. They are struggling with this tactical change, as Rob. Oliver, thank you very much for being a member. It's amazing how these players on huge wages fail to at least work for their wages, says Christopher. Thanks, Christopher. I'm just going to stretch my leg a minute. Ow. Where's your drink? Okay. Oh, I tell you, my leg is killing me. Ten Hag cannot do what Pep can do, so don't try and play him. Clearly don't work, says Jack. Can you wish my Mrs. Carmen a happy birthday, says Nate. Happy birthday to Carmen. I bet she's hoping for a United win. Somebody said it in the first half, and I completely agree. I think there has been some good crosses, certainly from Wan-Bissaka, that we don't really seem to have the players in the box to deal with. I worry about this team. I've got to say, I worry about this team. It's just all chemistry's disappeared, hasn't it? It doesn't look good 3 games in that you're looking at the team and you're sort of hoping that we're going to find a way back against Forest at home. There's no buzz to it, is there? There's no shape. It just isn't working at all. It doesn't look good. We could do with a goal from this cross here from Bruno. Bruno's gone edge of the box. Rashford. Little flick. Casemiro's in this time. And he scores. It's 2-2. And it's Bruno with the assist. That's good from the FPL. 2-2. 40 minutes to go. Casemiro. Well, I tell you what. I don't think he wants to go to Qatar or Saudi Arabia. I think he's happy with that. He's got a smile on his face. And United are back level. He'd missed a sitter in the first half. He'll be very happy with that. Somebody says it could be offside. No, it's not. It's definitely onside. 100%. It was all about whether Bruno... I mean, it's from the training ground, this. Into Bruno. Casemiro. Yeah, that's onside. 100% onside. 2-2. 40 minutes to get the winner here. And then dissect the problems. But get the win. That's what it's all about. And Bruno with the assist there. 2-2. I'm almost certain I've done that one from Rob as well. So plenty of time to go. 2-2. Let's get that stats carousel rolling round. You can't undo perfection, says Kai. I knew that was coming. That's why I've gone a little bit quiet. Oh, Anthony. So close. Oh, I'd love that to have gone in. So close from Anthony, that was. So close. That's that left foot. Would have loved that to go in. Curling it as per usual. Little bit too much. Little bit too much. Forest will be panicking now. They'll be panicking. Well, it's funny, actually, because Marvin says we need to see more of that from Anthony. I think that's all we see. You know, in a way, is that not all we see from Anthony? I mean, that to me is all he's got. He needs more to his game, I think, Marvin. Whenever Anthony does well, it's always that curled shot on his left foot. He's got to have more to his game, I think. See what actually happens when our wingers cross, says Sean. Hope you have a great day, says Romeo. Hope you do as well, pal. Oh, edge of the box. Anthony hit it. Blocked. Got to be careful of the break, though. Good interception by... You know what? That's a great interception by Wan-Bissaka, because if he doesn't make it, they're through one-on-one. And then he plays a bad pass. Arsenal are still losing against Fulham. Brentford are still beating Crystal Palace. It's 0-0 between Everton and Wolves. If you're interested. I mean, there's just a little bit of a break here. Good save by the keeper. Anthony's shot. Guess how many shots on goal Wolves have had in an hour. Mark, the problem is the hectic pre-season schedule, says Damini. And Wan-Bissaka is definitely the most athletic player on the team, but his technical and build-up play is so below average, says Angel. Hi, Mark. Unrelated, but please make sense of the Johnny Evans signing. It doesn't make any sense, Anthony. All I would say about Johnny Evans, it's the same as Harry Maguire. If Johnny Evans was starting a game for United, would you feel relaxed or concerned? I'd feel concerned. So I don't see the point. Is it possible the new rules that have been implemented have caused the defence and midfield to be less aggressive, which was fundamental last season, says Mac. Thank you very much, Mac, there. Decision making has been so poor all over the pitch, says Andy. I'm just very happy that we've got back into this game. To be 2-2 from 2-0 down in the way the game has gone, I don't think we've played very well, and yet we've somehow managed to craft a couple of goals ourselves. At this point, from predicting 3-0 before the game, I'd take 3-2 right now. And I know we're a mess. And I think we all know we're a mess. And I think if we won this game 5-2, people would still say we're a bloody mess because we've seen an hour of how we play. But we've just got to win. And maybe that's what this season's going to all be about. I don't know. Anthony would be better on the left wing, says Damien. I do think Forest will have a chance again, though. We've got to score the next goal. Blake says, "Do you think it's been a good game?" No, I think it's been a hard one, actually. When's Hoyland's return date, says Harley? He's already back, mate. I think he would like to have been on the bench today, but Ten Hag said no. He did train with the full first team yesterday, and I think he could have been on the bench today, but obviously Ten Hag he's a laptop manager, isn't he? When it comes to fitness, he's very much about that. And Wan-Bissaka's had a good game today. It shows character to get back from 2-0 down. We need to stop being so sluggish at the start, and players are unhappy with the sale, I reckon. Trust in Ten Hag, says Daniel. Mark, if United win, will you drop me a follow on X, says Ams. No. Because I think they will win. Oh, he just booked Wan-Bissaka. I was actually just praising the tackle. Sit Anthony down with Robben or Saka clips, says Christopher, and it shows character to get back from to have done that one. I can't understand why Wan-Bissaka got booked there. I thought it was a good tackle. Oh, Bruno, cross from Anthony, and he flicked it wide. That would have been a great goal, and it would have been so good for Anthony as well, because it was good play between him and Wan-Bissaka. Crossed it with his right as well. Oh, would have been a great goal. He used his right foot. A lot of people in the chat can't believe it. definitely been a better half from both our wingers in the second half, I've got to say. Sancho's coming on for Martial, who obviously only can do an hour. How many sitters has Bruno missed this season, says Anthony. And let's see what changes Ten Hag makes, says Frank. I hope Sancho's playing at false 9. I really hope Rashford's not going down the middle. Plot twist, Anthony is right-footed after all, says Fred. I think Rashford's gone up front. It's hard to tell at the moment. Yeah, Rashford's gone left. Sancho's gone left wing. This is the trouble when you haven't got a striker. We're certainly not home and hosed yet, though. I mean, it's not like it's wave after wave of attack for United. I still think Forest would fancy their chances. Oh, no, maybe Sancho is at false 9 because Anthony's gone to the left. Maybe. The yellow card there for a Forest player fouled Anthony. Still half an hour to go. I wouldn't have taken Martial off, says Danny. Look, this is very, very clear to me. Rasmus isn't on the bench because of this, and we've seen it time and time again. Anthony did well there. I'm telling you why Martial came off. Because Erik Ten Hag's laptop said only play Martial for 60 minutes. Whether you like it or not, a lot of managers do this. I don't know whether Pep does it, but there's a lot of managers who do this. They call them laptop managers because they basically manage fitness on an algorithm. So he will have decided before the game that Martial was coming off after an hour. And that's exactly what he did. And he's done it loads. He does it all the time. Rasmus, some managers would have put him on the bench today. But Ten Hag's like, no, you've not trained enough. You're not going to be on the bench. And that's just the type of manager Ten Hag is. You can't blame him, really, with the amount of injuries that we get. A lot of managers these days don't manage off instinct when it comes to fitness. They'll manage off the... look, United will be... To be fair, Man United will be paying people who come up with these laptops. And I'm not talking about Hewlett-Packard. It might be a good job that top 5 gets Champions League football, says JDT. I personally think that top 5, top 4 isn't going to massively matter. It's not like there's only going to be 4 teams that are competitive and 5th place will be easy. Finish 4th, finish 5th, there might be nothing in it. Mark, is it true that David Moyes is going for a medical after expressing an interest in signing Harry Maguire? This is blockchain. I wonder what you're on about there. He's trying to be funny. Ditch says that Eriksen's really good. Chris says Anthony sucks. I think Anthony's been good second half. Awesome to see an American in net in this game, says football. Obviously in goal for Forest. Arsenal still haven't equalised. Man City are going to have this title won by bloody Halloween at this rate. I'm telling you. If Arsenal drop points at home to Fulham, nobody's getting near Man City this year, are they? Eriksen, nice switch wide, loads of space. Rashford still playing on the left, which is good. Of course, the problem is with putting crosses into the box. You've got Bruno, Anthony, Sancho, Eriksen. There's no height. We need some height. A lot of people talking about Donny being the right sub. Why are we selling him? Lindelof's getting a lot of love. Good to see. Arsenal have got a penalty. They could still win there. You'd expect them to win, wouldn't you? Why did Varane go off, says Alan? We don't know. We don't know, mate. Heyman's calling me a farm animal because I keep snorting, so I'm just going to get a tissue. Hold on a minute. Oh no, it's all right. I thought they were looking at a penalty. Anthony's man of the match, says Joz. Just waiting on an injury here. I've played the game. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're only 50 subscribers away from 717. Bottom right-hand corner to subscribe. Mark. United missing a proper... Oh, hold on a minute here. Hold on a minute. I think there's a red card and a penalty. It's a red card and a penalty. Let's go. Bit of luck at last. No complaints from Forest. Red card and a penalty. Let's go. United, this could be the lucky break that we needed. The player himself is not. It's a ball over the top. Oh, no, it's not a penalty. It's not a penalty. And it could get... Oh, you know what? I've got to be honest here. I don't even think it's a red. I think the defender's covering him. I don't think it's a red. I genuinely... I know I'm gonna get clipped. He's not the last man. It's definitely not in the box. I don't think it's a red card. I don't. And you know me, red tinted glasses. I don't think he's the. He's not the right. That other lad's getting across, isn't he? He's not the last man. I don't think it's clear cut enough. I don't think it is. Definitely not a penalty. Just waiting on this. All right, I'll watch a bit Italian. No, he's gone. He's gone. He's definitely gone. It's definitely a red. He's gone. He's gone. Cheerio. I'm happy. I'm happy. But what I would say is, if that happens against us, would you think it was a red? I'd be a bit annoyed. But can we break down 10 men with 20 minutes to go? That's the challenge for Manchester United now. I think it was a little... I'm not saying it's wrong. Obviously, I want it to be a red card. I'm not going to lie about that. But I think it's because I watch so much football and do that's football. If that happened to United, I'd be saying it's not a penalty because Varane's going to get across. Let's do a poll. I think it'd be very easy. Was it a red? You know me. I'm going to say it's a red card because We need to win the game. Oh, sorry, I haven't done the poll. I've played the game. There you go. You can have a vote on it. Well, let's see what happens with the free kick. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? Once red was given by a ref, very difficult for VAR to overturn it, says Dan. Well, no, yeah, it's great. Dan, great point. Great point by Dan. They want to stick with their referees on the pitch, don't they? But how can he... Look. If that happens to United, it's all right. Leave it that way. If that happens with United, I'm wanting him to have a look at that on VAR. The fact that their referee has made that decision in real time and not looked at it, I would want him to have a look at it. So much material for a proper number 9 to work with. If we had another solid number 6 and a centre-back, then we should be okay, says Humphrey. That's a harsh red, but I'm not complaining, says Noah. So happy Martial's back as an option with Rasmus coming in. Come on, United, says Noah. Liking the positivity. Molly says, how are people saying it's not a red? He's the last man. I think, Molly, it's not clear-cut because the other Forest defender is sort of level with Bruno, and it's whether it's hard to predict who's going to get there first, because if that defender is going to put a tackle in on Bruno, I mean, Bruno's not the quickest player in the world. I think that's what people are talking about, really. But, look, United are up against 10 men here. Forest are going to sit in. There is a chance. Arsenal are winning 2-1. Arsenal are winning 2-1 from 2-1 down, from 2-0 down, from 1-0 down to 2-1. Saka and Nketiah has scored. Saka with a penalty and Nketiah with the goal. 2-1 there. Brentford still beating Palace 0-0. 1-0. It's all going on. We can't draw this game. I'm getting nervous. Mark, is it true that Mason turned down a move to Everton to try and revive his career, saying, I have my reputation to think about, says Blockchain. He's doing all the jokes. Michael Moore, thanks for becoming a member. Well, I've just tweeted what I thought about it. 20 minutes to go for Manchester United. Rezwan, welcome to the members club. Well, I tell you what, it's been a hell of a watch along. I think we can all agree with that. Simon, we just need United to win here. And look, I'll be honest with you here. If United do win this game, it's got the feel of Wolves all over again, hasn't it? I agree with De Boss. I think Bruno's played well today. Mark, how do you think Højlund is going to do? Says Alexi. Well, I think somebody said it. I think there's opportunities there. There are opportunities there. Player ratings are open on the website. UnitedStand.com. I'll get the link in the chat in a moment for you. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. United got a corner here. Switch Rashford and Anthony for crossing into the box, says Christopher. The problem is with crosses into the box, you've got Sancho, Bruno, Eriksen. There's no height in the box. I wonder how many touches Casemiro's made in the box, says Danny. He's going to have to put McTominay or Maguire on for height. Could be a penalty here now. Lots of people saying it could be a penalty here now. Palace have equalised. Penalty! He's given it. It is a penalty. We finally got it. We knew it was going to happen. Forest are giving this away. And the comeback could be complete here as Rashford goes to ground. Yes, there's no doubt. They're never going to overturn that. Penalty, 100%. If the referee gives it, that don't get overturned. That doesn't get overturned. Rashford goes to ground. He should get an assist for that. You should get. FPL should give assists for the person who gets fouled. Definitely. Bruno, I've got Bruno in my FPL. He's already got an assist. Come on, you've got to score this. Everybody who took Bruno and Rashford out their fantasy Premier League team, well, you should get assists. You should get an assist. Do you get an assist in fantasy Premier League if you get fouled for the penalty? You should do. They already do. Back of the net. Come on. Bruno, score this. I've got Rashford and Bruno in my team. They've both got assists already. This will be another assist for Rashford and a goal for Bruno. Come on then. Come on then, Bruno. Let's be having you. Let's be having you. Look at what I'm wearing. Magic pants. Magic top. Get in. Bruno Fernandes. 3-2. Goldbridge has brought the t-shirt out. He doesn't normally wear it, but he needed it. And we've got it. And it's 3-2. Bruno Fernandes. The t-shirt still does its magic. It's a classic. And Bruno makes it 3-2. And you can all shut up sooner, so he's no captain. Bruno has had a cracking game. Sit down, haters. My captain. My captain. Get in. 3-2. United lead. We're lucky, says the GOAT. We don't care. We don't care. We lead 3-2. Bruno the Magnifico, says Speedy. The t-shirt's done its thing. Bruno's made it 3-2. Let's just see it home now. Park the bus. Park the bus. They've only got 10 men. 3 points. Move on. People want to get technical, but the pass was placed so well that the centre-back was best. Dragged Bruno before the potential one-on-one. Simple red, says LJ. It's over. LJ, it's over. We don't need to talk about the red card anymore. You need a Maguire t-shirt, then throw it away, says JDT. Hotter than the sun shirt available in the store, says Utrecht. And yes, sliding on the sitting room floor tiles, says Christopher Day. Oh, I'll tell you what, though. It's been... Is this better than beating them 3-0? Of course it's not. You want to beat them 3-0. You want to play really good football and you want to be confident about the rest of the season. But best captain since Keno. He gives his all, says Mario Franco. Look, we got Arsenal next week. It's going to be tough. Everton are winning 1-0. They've scored at home against Wolves. That worries me, you know. That worries me how Wolves go to Goodison Park and get beaten by Everton, and yet they come to Old Trafford and play us off the park. I just don't know what to expect next week against Arsenal and then against Brighton. But we can only deal with what's in front of us. And this game may well have... The way we've dealt with this game, it's more like a home game against bloody Man City with red cards and 2-0 down and everything like that. But ultimately, we've got the points. Sean, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Come on, United, says Des. John says, brilliant show. Well, it has been entertaining. There's no doubt about that. It's certainly been an entertaining one. I think the player ratings in the match reaction is going to be really interesting, isn't it? So let me get those player ratings. Link in the description for you. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. Star for your man of the match. Links in the video description for you there. Look, we shouldn't be conceding against 10 men. But, you know what? Winning but not good overall performance, says Wall. Mark, at what point do the so-called plastic pundits start blaming the club rather than the manager and the players, says Martin. And loving the FPL points from Bruno and Rashford, but it's safe to say that they won't be in my team next week, says Jack. Yeah. No heads dropping today. This might become a turning point, says Maz. I don't think it's going to be a turning point because I think we've got still so much that needs to be done. I think decent teams would still... Look, we're beating Nottingham Forest 3-2 at Old Trafford. It's been a bloody... These players will be knackered. Man City would probably be 6-0 up. That's the difference, I think, here. I hope it can be the catalyst, but I think we've got bigger problems than today. I think look, get the 3 points, put them on the table, try and sort something out next week. But at least we can win when playing badly, says Left Looks. Yeah. Take the positives. How you doing on your FPL, Mark? I don't know at the moment. I'll have to have a look in a bit. I don't want to start temping it. Alanga's coming on for Forest. 10 minutes to go. 2-1 Arsenal now lead against Fulham. Brentford and Palace is actually 1-1. Palace have done well to get back into that. Everton's goal was disallowed. It's still 0-0. I don't know what happened. Offside for Everton. Well, it's been I stand by this statement. It's been a 5-goal thriller at Old Trafford. Should we be having 5-goal thrillers at home to Nottingham Forest? Of course we shouldn't, but we'd rather have that than Alanga with a bad pass out there. But that was De Gea. That would be getting clipped up. Think this win came out of fear of embarrassment, says Christopher. Keown called it a dive on BBC. Everton disallowed, says Chris. Keown is another bitter. I don't mind pundits who are fair. But Keown hates United. Souness hates United. Red card for Fulham. Second one in a week. Rashford's just been booked. Pratwell. That's bad for me, FPL. How's he got a yellow card for that? Oh, he's kicked the ball at a ball boy, that's why. I think Rashford might need to go and say sorry to the ball boy there, because he's just kicked the ball at him. That's not good for your book, club. He's just kicked the ball at a ball boy. Go and say Rashford's doing some PR tomorrow. That ball boy's quids in. He'll be like, I'll be being invited round. I'll be a character in his next book. Do you reckon Hoyland will be able to make a big enough impact in this squad, says Cody? Look, he's a striker. They've got to provide the service for him, first of all. What we got? Still 10 minutes at least. Why are we taking our foot off the gas? I don't like this, says Mike. I know we're playing against 10 men. I'm a little bit like, go and get the 4th goal. Looking out, Onana's just made a save there. What are we doing? What are we doing inviting pressure against 10 men? What? This game's had it all. McTominay's coming on. Well, it makes sense, really, for Eriksen. Oh, my God. What's McTominay done to his hair? It looks like he's been in a bloody tumble dryer. Oh, my God. What has he done to his hair? That's McTominay staying then. Forest have got a corner here. Oh, Eriksen's staying on. I think he's took Anthony off. He thinks he's a Peaky Blinder, says Mats. Bruno, man of the match, says Paul Irwin. Yeah, few people have said that. Well, I went 3-0. I just forgot about the 2 for Forest, but well, hopefully it will stay as 2. Casemiro's just gone down here. We can't afford to lose him. We can't afford to lose anybody at the moment, can we? Let's be honest. I can see there being quite a lot of added time here. Was it a red card, by the way? We've had 25,000 votes on this. Massive amount of you voting. Was it a red card for Nottingham Forest? Yes, 55%. No, 45%. So that's quite interesting, isn't it? Because really, you'd be like, oh yeah, as United fans, definitely. Oh, Fulham have equalised against Arsenal. And Wolves have scored against Everton. Well, Fulham are down to 10 men. And they've equalised. As things stand, Paulina has scored for Fulham at the Emirates. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Will it stand? We'll have to wait and see. Lot of teams having different starts to the season, aren't they? That'd be terrible for Arsenal if it happens. McTominay's mum cuts his hair, says Coney. His mum cuts his hair. No, we can't say that. Don't want to jinx him. Casemiro's back on, says Jacob. What's everyone having for tea? Well, remember, I'm on Talk Sport tonight at 7:30 till 9 o'clock. If you want to listen on national radio, if you want to call in, or it's live on YouTube, so get involved. But I think I'm having meatballs. Gonna have some meatballs. Jason's gonna have an Indian takeaway. Sounds good. Well, Forest are having a go here. That's a great shot. Brilliant shot by Forest. Straight into the Stretford end by Elanga. He's still a red. McTominay on means no Amrabat, says UK Enterprise. No, I don't think it means that. I hope it doesn't mean that. Ten Hag's not happy about how many minutes have been added on. This will be good. Arsenal will be extra motivated to demolish United after they drew Fulham, says the Connor. He's just booked an Arna now. Ah, this is a fucking joke. Absolute joke. I mean, how many minutes is he going to add on? I don't care whether it's a Forest player or a United player. I think the added time's a joke. Sorry, I think the refereeing. I think booking players for time wasting is a fucking joke. You're just going to end up with 10 players on the pitch. 11 minutes. What game are we watching? 11 minutes. Oh my God. 11 minutes at Old Trafford. Shame on you. Shame on you. Absolutely incredible. 11 minutes. Look, you know what? We're going to see more injuries. We're going to see more crap games. You cannot get players to play 11 minutes after playing 90 minutes. It's absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. I can't believe that. 11 fucking minutes. Psychologically, it must be terrible for the players as well. You get to 80 minutes and you think there's only 10 to go. And then you think, well, no, there's not really. There's probably another 20 minutes to go. 9 minutes added at Arsenal as well. It's a lot. It's way too long. Way too long. The reason I moan about it is because of... it's just going to ruin the game. It's going to ruin the quality of the game. It's going to ruin the, players are going to get injured. They're not going to, they're going to have to conserve energy more in the normal game. If players are getting booked for time wasting, we need a clear set time allowance to stick with it. Can't be done on a circumstantial basis, says Liam. It's time for football to get on par with the rest of the sports and stop the clock when players stop. Simple, says Stuart. Exactly. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Scrap added time and stop the clock, says Ross. We're playing against 10 men, so can't we keep hold of the ball, says Daryl. Mike Dean approach, it's all about the refs, says Perth. With added time, I've noticed they stopped making players leave the pitch for treatment now, causing more added time, says Dorian. And is Howard Webb that deluded to think that it's actually working? It's going to destroy the final phase of the game, says Stephen. I spoke about this on my podcast this week, Goldbridge Saves Football, and I basically said whoever these prats are that thought this through clearly don't understand the game. So you're going to give more yellow cards and red cards, which means there'll be more games like this with less people on the pitch. And then you're going to add more time as well. So everybody knows that when there's a red card, the game isn't as good as when it's 11 versus 11 anyway. And then on top of that, you're going to... so we're going to have worse games for longer. And players are going to have to play for longer, which means more injuries, which means worse games as well. Isn't it double jeopardy when players getting booked and the time being added on, says Dan. Well, that was my thought, Dan. I just couldn't figure it out. So if you're booking an Arna for time wasting, but then you're adding the time on anyway, again, I don't. It's double jeopardy. It doesn't make any bloody sense. Are you doing Brighton versus West Ham? No, I'm bloody starving, Ali, and I've got to do my match reaction. And also... I'm on Talk Sport at 7:30 doing my evening show, so yeah. Rashi not passing again there. Well, referee's gonna have to add on another 20 minutes here because there's been so many stoppages. 13 added for the World Cup final. It's a trend, says LeFlux. You know what it is? It's a trend from people who don't know the game. That's what annoys me. Arsenal are still drawing against Fulham. Wolves are beating Everton at Goodison. I can't believe it, Goldbridge. I thought we'd scored a goal and it got disallowed, and then they did score a goal. To be honest with you, Goldbridge, I'm fucked like Lana Ray. I think my career's over. 3-2 to Forest here, to Manchester United here as well. It's ended between Brentford and Palace 1-1. Yellow card. Oh my God, Bruno's been booked now. You know what? There's going to be no players left. Mark, we want another Palpatine impression, says Rob. You know what? I just want the 3 points for United, but I can't believe what's happening with the officiating. They're ruining the game. They're adding way too long on. They are booking too many players. We've already got players playing too many games anyway. I just don't know. It must come down to money. It just must come down to money, I suppose. So we blamed Rashford's poor performances on him playing striker. What's the reason for today's poor performance? People don't like it, but I'm wrong. Says Robert. Well, look, did Rashford have a bad performance? He got an assist and he won the penalty. You know, ultimately, I think Ten Hag will be saying that he had a good game. But we've made very hard work of this. I'm not going to lie to you. We've made very hard work of this game. Just get the 3 points. Get those 3 points. Oh, McTominay's hurt himself now. He's thinking, just in case they're going to sell me, I need to get injured. Make sure 75,000 people see it. It's not my fault. I would have left. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, man of the match, says Maverick. I think for me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka or Bruno have played really, really well. I don't think McTominay's getting sold anyway. He can lie down with a pretend broken leg. I still don't. He won't. I don't think he gets sold anyway. It's finished 2-2 between Arsenal and Fulham. That is... McTominay's all right. That's a big result. Wolves have won at Everton as well. It's a terrible result for Deitch. We could be playing here till 9 o'clock. Someone call Talk Sport. I'll have to start late. Could be still playing this game at 7:30. McTominay's injury gave us Bruno in 2020, says Akil. You're right. You're right. Thanks everyone who subscribed, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner to do. I mean, look at the state of that. Look at the amount. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is ridiculous, right? Look at the Forest pitch. Yellow cards, red cards, ridiculous. And then look at United. 3 yellow cards. I think one of the yellow cards has been subbed off as well, hasn't it? It's just bloody ridiculous. It's ridiculous how many people are getting booked. Arteta, says Mustafa. But yeah, I tell you what, backlash. I still think there could be another 5 minutes here. What? 1. Why? I'll shout you. Yeah, I'm not here for this. You know what? When it hit the 90th minute, I was like, come on, can we hold on? This is too long. This is just, you know, waiting 11, 12 minutes to beat Nottingham Forest 3-2 at home. I mean, who benefits from this? There's fans in the ground who've got to wait another hour now. Tom says, the poor fans who are going to sit in for an hour after the game, they won't be getting home until tomorrow. Are you happy, says Xavier? I'm happy with the win. I think we'll talk about a lot in the match reaction. Player ratings, mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average. It's not full time, that's just our time as needs adjusting. Links in the description for player ratings. We'll discuss that on the match reaction straight after this. United are on the attack. We've got the win. That's all that matters. But I'm doing Newcastle versus Liverpool watch along tomorrow, Andy, on That's Football. But it's not been easy. Arsenal draw. Speed's laughing about that. I think this is about it now. Surely this is it. Hopefully Varane's not injured too badly. Well, if you add on the added time from the first half, we've basically had 105 minutes. Yeah, well, it's all about personal opinion. I'm not here for this. I'm not here. I don't want to see 13 minutes added on. He's blown the whistle. Absolutely ridiculous. A lot of just looking at there, a lot of people are actually leaving. But look, Man United win. Player ratings. Let's go and do the match reaction because that's incredible. That is really how long we've had to wait. But I'll see you over on the match reaction. Is it Bruno? Is it Wan-Bissaka? Is it somebody else? Lots to talk about. I certainly think we're papering the cracks. I think we've got to get in the transfer window. I'll see you over there. Sus says, I don't know why Glazers got involved in recruitment. If Ten Hag wants Amrabat, then they should provide the funds. Exactly, I agree. I'll speak to you over there in a minute.